G'day guys, it's Mark here again, and I thought I'd do another video, okay, to tackle all the ETF analysis requests that we have had. So this next one is a comparison. So we'll do something a little bit different for this one. It is looking at MOAT, M-O-A-T, versus QUAL, Q-U-A-L, and those are both provided by VanEck. We'll take a look at my screen shortly. So let's just flip over to that one. Okay, so we're here at the ETFtracker page, and usually we go to the Snapshots page. So we'll go to Snapshots first, usually to just get a snapshot of that single ETF. You get the 6 tiles there, which are showing you performance and transactions and all that. We're actually going to start this one off by looking at the holdings and comparing them. And you can do that for multiple ETFs. You don't have to just go to ETF Snapshots and look at the holdings just for one. You can click on the holdings and take a look at what's going on for 2 or 3 or however many ETFs. Now, it's best that when you do this kind of stuff, you do compare those against similar ETFs. You want to like similar regions or similar kind of styles of ETFs. The reason for that is if you're looking at 2 completely separate ETFs that are not similar in style, or they don't look like they cover the same kind of markets, for example, there's FAIR and ETHI, they're going to be completely 2 different ETFs in terms of what they cover. So just, we're not looking at ETHI, we're looking at QUAL. But yeah, that's how you use the comparisons tool on ETFtracker. So that ETF holdings comparisons tool. So we've got QUAL and MOAT. And as you can see here, there are some holdings that cross over. Okay, so not all, and definitely not so much at the higher end. And you can see here that QUAL, 33%, is in its top 10 holdings. For MOAT, it's a little bit less, it's 26%. So that's something worth looking at there. From here, we don't have to go back to that first page or really reload this page. We can just go to single ETF, which is providing that ETF snapshots. Okay, so now we will look up, we've done QUAL before, so let's try MOAT. So I will refer to it in the video, but there is a review and it is with the data up until August. So it's going to be the same kind of thing there, but we'll take a quick look here. But anyways, for MOAT, 51 holdings there, Morningstar wide MOAT focus. The QUAL one is also using the Morningstar ratings system to look at quality. So MOAT has 94% cumulative performance. It was nearly 3% in the month of August. We can see what that returns profile has been. It's pretty good. I'll actually go full screen here so you can see that easier. Should have done that from the start. MOAT gives investors exposure to a diversified portfolio of attractively priced US companies with sustainable competitive advantages, according to Morningstar's equity research team. MOAT aims to provide investment returns before fees and other costs which track the performance of the index. And the index is this Morningstar wide MOAT focus. So you can look details up on the fund. You can see the fund website here. You can click on that and go to that VanEck page, or you can Google what the Morningstar wide MOAT focus is all about. And you can see the returns profile here in terms of transactions. Oh, sorry, size first. So we'll look at size. We can see inflows. It's mostly had net inflows over its lifetime. Hasn't had much net outflows unless we're talking about March. So a lot of ETFs, a lot of funds lost money or had money taken out during that period of time. So that's to be expected, but it's grown quite strongly since then. And we can see how funds under management, that profile has improved and increased over time. Okay. And then in terms of transactions, we can also see that just from that snapshot, that first page, that trades, the number of trades has been increasing. And the same thing is there with transaction volume and transaction value. That's been increasing over time. So that's been trending up. Even though it's not the highest it has been, it is near those highs. And then in terms of the bid-ask spread and tradability, so liquidity is 8.3%, the bid-ask spread is 0.08%, and that has been trending down. We can see that from the first screen here. We look at liquidity and we can see what that profile has been like. 8.3% is just below 10, and we can see where it's been trending. It has been improving over these last couple of months, so it is it looks okay there. So you can use the filters here to compare to other ETFs and see what that looks like. Distribution yield, we can see how that has profiled. It's just under 1%, and it kind of hovers around that. It hasn't gotten really much over 1.5%, so it's not an ETF that you would be using to chase distribution yield. It just doesn't show that here. 0.49% is the MER. Now you can quickly type in QUAL or search for that, and you can see how QUAL compares. So profile's kind of similar. 99% versus 94, it has had increasing net inflows. Transactions look as well, having that hockey stick curve up. It's cheaper in terms of its management expense ratio. It doesn't have as much a distribution yield as the other, but they're both near that 1%. And it's a little bit lower in latest liquidity, but the spread is quite similar. And you can look at the holdings, got far more holdings there. So that's a nice quick kind of snapshot to look at both QUAL and MOAT. As I said, we've got the QUAL specific review in another video as part of this series. This one is looking at both QUAL and MOAT, and we started off with looking at the holdings, and we started looking at MOAT and its particular returns profile and transactions and all that. And then we took a quick look now just at what QUAL looks like compared. So you can use all of this in the ETF Tracker app. Check it out.